suggesting some recent ideas. One of them I'm very excited about, which is sounds like this. Playing it from my laptop. Obviously, I haven't got any lyrics for it yet. Anyway, I'm very excited to share. Feels like the old days when we had a message board and it was all nice and just not speaking to thousands and thousands of people at once, which is, of course, what I'm doing right now, but this is different. This is basically a kind of reaching out to anyone out there who would like to be more involved in the creative process or take part in the development of an AI with AImogen, you know, and doesn't really want to be encouraging me to be 24/7 online myself. Anyway, so first of all, we are going to go into the Zoom I have here on my laptop. I have a tablet here and a laptop down here, and the tablet has a little microphone and little lights to try and make me look less half dead. I have on my here, I've got heart rate monitor, and then the tablet is taking photographs and video to contextualize the text that it's going to scrape from the audio. So ultimately in time, it'll have emotional data to add alongside, because sometimes with text, it doesn't, well, most times with text, you don't get the inflection, do you? The humor, the wit, or the certain wink that you might get. Okay, so we're going to go to the chair. I have no idea what this question is going to be. Let me just get into asking. Now, the first person here is somebody called French. I don't know if they are French, maybe they are. I don't know what the question is, but I have to ask this person when they go live, which is any minute now, that they give me their ticket number. So basically, if they got a question that AImogen didn't have as an answer, of which there are many, then this person gets a ticket, and then I answer the ticket, and then I have to get the manual ticket number from them until we learn to automate it, till we figure out a way to automate it, and then that goes alongside the text, which then gets fed back into Discovery. Okay, sounds very convoluted right now, which it is, but this is the development of a new piece of tech. It's very exciting. So I'm hoping that this person is going to come in. I have no way of telling if they are there right now. Are they there? I can't see them. It says he is there. Oh, it's somebody called Steve. I thought it was somebody called French. I'm confused. Are they there? I can see Justin.
I'm here.
Okay. Where? Oh, there he is.
I'm here.
Hello. So just to explain to anyone who's watching, hello, Steve. Are you Steve or are you French?
Yep.
Are you
I'm
French?
Steve.
Okay.
No, I'm not French. I'm Steve.
But why is French there? Is that just your handle?
I was in a different chat earlier, and I had changed. Forgot to change the name.
Why were you French earlier and not Steve? I'm curious.
I was in a French language group.
Oh, what?
A French language group.
Oh, okay. And you were French, and there was German, and there was Italian, and
yeah.
Well, it's good to see you. I like your half like sky face.
Yeah, I forgot to change that too.
Oh, it's quite cool. I like it. Right. So, Steve, you have a question for me, and you got a ticket number? Did you?
Yeah, I actually had two questions.
Okay. Well, let me.
178 and 179.
Okay, 178, 179. Good, because I'm going to, when I answer the question, now just to explain to you and everyone else, I have to try and keep my answers like short and succinct, which is very hard. I have to basically be more machine-like, which is kind of ironic because we're trying to not do that. And in my answer, I'm going to repeat your ticket number, and then I'm going to say the answer very succinctly and extremely wittily so that it helps me not have to go in and manually edit it later. So just to also let people know on the stream that you can't see Steve. I can see Steve and Steve can see me. But we decided that it was better just to kind of, because otherwise we have to ask permissions and get people to sign things and all that kind of stuff. I think that's why we decided. Or maybe it was just, I don't know. Anyway, you can't see Steve and he looks very lovely. So let's get you to ask that question. You have to repeat the ticket number. So ask me number one first.
Well, this is kind of a multi-part question.
Okay.
So I was wondering if you've studied or if you're fluent in any foreign languages. I know you studied German, but I imagine having underwear thrown around you during your German classes isn't very conducive to learning.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're fluent in that. And I was wondering also.
Oh, wait, let me answer that first.
What was it? Okay.
I gotta do that one.
Okay.
So what number was that?
I don't know exactly. It didn't refer back to the questions when I talked by email.
I'll have to make one up. I'll just.
It was either 178 or 179.
Okay, I'll say 178. Catty, you'll have to figure this out later. So I've got two team members on. I've got Justin and Catty. Justin's helping develop the kind of coding around the AI and working with Discovery and kind of figuring out the flow. And Catty is also doing that, but more on the kind of emails, fresh desk space, and a lot of the kind of online look of things. Okay, that's probably a terrible description of their jobs. Right, 189, yeah? No.
178.
178, okay, really bad. Right, here we go. 178, ticket number, possibly. Could be 179. 178, okay. This is really hard. Right, so I've got to incorporate the question. Here we go. Let's see if I can get slicker at this. I don't know any I don't know any languages fluently, sadly. I don't speak any languages fluently. However, I did enjoy every Tuesday evening a Japanese evening class with my friend Justine, as she had married a South Korean man who lived in Japan and spoke Japanese. And we thought it'd be a good idea to learn Japanese together. So I learned how to write katakana and hiragana. I've forgotten it all now. And I learned how to say some things, which I have now forgotten. But there are things like, anata wa Steve desu, which I think means over there is Steve, but I could be wrong. Or maybe it's kore wa Steve desu. I think it's kore wa because I know you. I think it's anata wa, they are over there, but you there is kore wa. Anyway, not really good. I did learn French and German up to GCSE standard till I was 15. I think I was better at German because I got drunk in Germany quite a few times, and that always seems to help. Okay, so that's my answer for that one.
So then I was wondering what it was like to, because I know you recorded. Oh, there's kind of a lag. Sorry, are you still talking?
Yes, hello.
Okay. So I was wondering if what it was like to do she knows in Chinese, because I know there was a Mandarin version of that.
Yes, yeah. Okay, so is this 178 still?
Yes, sorry.
Okay, 178B. The answer to 178B is, it was very hard trying to sing in Mandarin for Shizu She Knows. I worked very hard with a Chinese poet called Pang Wei to translate the lyrics that I worked really, really hard on to try to describe what I felt the feeling was about the city by the local people that I met. I met a couple of hundred people over my 3-month stay there. And that song was a reaction to their existing in a city, a very fast-paced city of change. So I took the stance of the lake, who'd been there for thousands of years, and what it felt like as the lake to see change. And that's what Shizu She Knows, because the lady of the lake was called Shizu. She's the most beautiful Chinese woman in ancient Chinese culture. And now she's just called, the lake is just called the West Lake, but it was called Lake Shizu. So yeah, it was very hard learning Mandarin. I didn't really learn Mandarin. I just tried my best to pronounce what Pang Wei had written, and we'd really worked hard to make sure the translation was just right, because I wanted the people to understand what it was that I'd written in response to all of their collaborative discussions with me about the song.
Do you see yourself doing other songs in foreign languages? I know you did Shurayo, and I think it's like Japanese. Yeah.
That was Okinawan actually, and there's a special language. Now Guy would know. I need my listening chair to call up Guy right now, but I can't do that yet. Yes, it was in Okinawan. Yeah, that's okay. 178C. Multiple questions in one. I really enjoy singing in different languages, though I can't always remember what I wrote it about. There's a few moments where specifically Japanese has kind of cropped up over the years, because I love Japanese culture. I've been to Japan many times, and it just sounds really beautiful to me. So yeah, in Close Up, there's a bit there's a close up which is a B-side, a free B-side, and it goes Anna Taga Sono Mama De Hashitai no. I have no idea what I was trying to say. But I would love to.
So cool.
I would love to sing more in foreign languages. But first of all, I just got to write a few more in my own language, because I'm not really getting a lot of that done, am I? Let's face it.
And then I had one more question.
Yeah.
This is 179.
Okay.
I noticed in some of your songs you have kind of like hidden lyrics, like in You Know Where to Find Me, the recorded version ends with there's nothing you can do, and then the live version I've heard you say to make me think of less of you.
Yeah.
And then also Neglected Space, there's like a very, very quiet, it says like, can we discuss?
Yeah.
At the very end.
Yeah. Yeah, so the reason...
I was wondering why you did that, or...
Yeah. So, answer to question 179. The reason why I put hidden lyrics at the end of songs is not always intentional. It's more to do with the musical length or the feeling of the song at that point. If it has kind of naturally had a dip, that I don't feel the need to prolong it like another, 4-bar phrase to just hear that end lyric. And it's nice to have slightly little extra things live. But that lyric I really do love, and I kind of wish it was on the record. I think just at the time I felt it'd been going on a long time. There's nothing you can do to make me think less of you. I really love that as a lyric. I don't know.
I did too.
Was it nice to hear it live and kind of go, oh, there's a new...
Yeah, it was really nice. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Okay, so maybe it's better. Is it better to have the surprise as the lyric, or would you like it on the record in future?
I like both versions, because I know also you did something different with the piano in the live version at the end.
Yeah, I do a lot.
So I really like both. Yeah.
Great, good. Okay, I aim to please. My music is not just for me; it's for you too.
Thank you.
All right, Steve. Well, it was lovely to chat to you. Thank you for the questions.
You too.
And
thanks so much.
Ciao for now. Bye.
All right, bye.
All right, I'm going to have to remove you now. Sorry about this. Where do I do that? There, remove. Oh, no. Oh, has he already... I can't see that window. I can't do that. Because I haven't got enough space on my laptop.
I'll just X out. Hopefully
Okay.
that works.
Sorry.
All right, thanks a lot.
Okay, bye. Catty, can you in future do that for me? Bring people out, because I can't remove them for some reason. My laptop's not making me do it. Right, so we've got Saira Chaudhry next. Here she comes. Here they come, Saira Chaudhry.
Hello.
Hello. Are you there?
Hi, how are you?
Yes, I'm very good. How are you?
I'm not too bad. Sorry, I couldn't actually see the feed anywhere.
Oh.
So I was just kind of waiting there.
That's weird.
What's going to happen?
Oh, right.
It's not coming through the app anyway.
Is it not?
Or Imogen app. For me, it's not.
Catty, could you please get on to that? Sorry about that.
Could be.
That's weird. No, it's probably us. It's all quite tricky at the moment. There's so many different apps and things, and everybody wants kind of different functionalities in each thing, and it's kind of, hopefully this will simplify things.
No, you're doing well. It's great.
Thanks. So, am I pronouncing your name right? Saira?
It's Syra.
Syra. Sorry. I'd love to chat to you. So, do you have a question for me?
I do. It's for ticket number 111, which you think I would have remembered, but I didn't, so I looked that up.
Oh yeah, because you got to be. I remember, because we've been trying to make this happen on a Saturday, right?
Yeah, I've not been able to do it on a Tuesday. So.
That's okay. See, I do. I keep my promises. Okay.
It's about your running app, which I think you mentioned about 7 years ago. I think I saw it through Facebook. Yeah. And it seemed like a really good idea. I was running at that time, but I've stopped running since then. But it sounded like a really good idea, but then it just kind of seemed to disappear.
Yeah.
And I just wondered what happened to it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. 111. Okay. Ticket number 111. The running app that we were developing as part of what then became the song Runtime was an application that we really wanted to come to fruition. We originally worked with Intel, who funded it under their Momentum campaign, I think. Like, they gave Rob was the developer who I met through RJDJ. He's a generative and reactive app developer. Really amazing. Built some beautiful things, and I love working with him. So that was my first foray into reactive and generative music of my own. And it really inspired me to actually, it's kind of, in a way, it's the beginning of AImogen. Because AImogen in time, I want to be able to create music with this AI augmented self, as well as have conversations, as well as help her to, be my memory and all kinds of things, and help me understand where I might have met my fans in the past. And anyway, so long story short, the funding was the problem. We did want to create the app. We had these really lovely ideas about that if enough people, it would be kind of generated by the fans. So it would start with Imogen Heap fans. They would get the app. If anyone wants to look it up, it is online somewhere. I'll put this in the link in the answer for AImogen in the future. The idea was that you run and it picks up your pace and the music generates around the pace of your running. And if you want to get a boost and you want to go a bit faster, then it turns into 6/8 because it's easier to run. It makes you feel like you're going slower, but you're actually going faster because of the way that the pattern runs. So that's actually why in Runtime, the song goes into 6/8 in the second section, in the middle section. That's kind of like the transition into going faster. And you could hear, we did a demo app, it was really great. You could hear the outside world being harmonized into the app. So yeah, I mean, it would have obviously run its course eventually because you just would have heard the same sound world, but you could have probably lived with it for 20 minutes. It would have been really nice. But the idea was that we could try and get the fans to then run enough, basically use the app enough, or enough runners that would get us to the moon. And then when we reached the moon, we would have enough money to offer another artist an advance fee for them to develop the next, running app piece of music. That was our idea.
Wow.
But it never happened because we just ran out of money.
That's amazing.
But maybe.
Do you still have I've tried to have a look. Is there still a demo available?
It wasn't like
a video of it.
There should be a video of it if you look up Intel Momentum Imogen Heap running up. I think it must be there somewhere. Can't find it. Made a new single using a running app, Runtime, generative jogging app, Discord. I'll try and find it and send it to you. Catty, can you make a note of that? A thing to do. I might add to my to-do list from the listening chair today. Yeah, we'll find it for you and send it to you in the app. In fact, I'll post it on the app. Sure. I'll post it on the app. Maybe I could do a whole Runtime section because I'm about to do a Runtime cover. Actually, not cover, but a Runtime piano version on this Tuesday because somebody paid me £100 to do that song. I'm going to do, maybe I'll add that in, and then we'll have the official version, the demo version, the app long version, and the kind of project about the song on the app. Yeah, there's lots of stuff about it.
Oh, that sounds great. No, I do appreciate also the way when you release your albums, you put instrumental versions on.
Yeah.
And listening to that track, it is one of those things where you kind of, especially when you come to the end of the song, but then it kind of ramps up again.
Yeah.
That lovely piece towards the end. I just want to keep looping it. And it is one of those things where you feel, that, well, you will know it. That runner's euphoria that you feel when you're running and you're not struggling to catch your breath. It kind of reminds me of that because I only ever had that once, I think, like properly.
That's great.
Probably going down the hill, so that's probably a cheat, really.
Oh no, that's super good to hear.
I love that song.
It's funny, isn't it? Because that is exactly what I was trying to achieve. And for me, it kind of, once you've got out of that 6/8 section, it goes a little faster than the original version. Oh no, it's quite a lot faster. But yeah, it is that kind of like, yeah, I'm in the, that's what happened to me recently. I was just like, I was having one of those moments of like, I'm feeling so fit, I'm running so fast, I'm feeling so good. And then I was trying to avoid three things. There was a van and two people coming towards me. And I was trying to give everyone the 2 meter distance rule before it went down to 1 meter, which is like the next day. And then I just slightly misjudged a curve and I sprained my ankle, which is really annoying. But I was just in that euphoric kind of like, yes, I'm amazing, I'm running again. And then I sprained my ankle. Never mind. Anyway, it's really nice to chat to you and remember. It was a really fun, really enjoyed that, that project with Rob. Very good. Okay.
No, I look forward to having a look at that. Thank you very much.
Yes, my absolute pleasure. Lovely to chat to you, Sarah. Take care. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Right, so hopefully Catty will remove it. Not that I want to remove anyone, it feels very rude. And I'm going to bring in Corey King. Corey King is very royal. He should be sitting in a throne like me. Corey, what's the story? Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Hello.
Good to hear.
Yeah, you're in the chair. Live and direct. Nice to see you. Thanks for everything. I see you popping up in all the things recently. I see you popping up at the online. I see you popping up in the app. I see you popping up in the at the live improv sessions. So thank you.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yep. You're my favorite.
Oh, I hope I will continue to
so
be.
Much, so we, yeah. Thanks for giving the fans a chance to give back to you.
No, it's amazing. Thank you. It's great, and it's nice to actually refocus. You know, since Scout, it was quite difficult to get in the studio. So my brain was shifted away from the studio and into motherhood and into things that I could do without, holding myself away for 24 hours at a time in the studio. So that's when kind of dreamt up my Celia and just kind of started to do all these other things because they were the only things that I could manage at the time. But I'm really glad because lots of good stuff's come from that. But now it's time to get back in the studio, and I can't seem to go into the studio without you guys because that's what I've done since I was 23, I think, or whenever I did Speak for Yourself. So yeah, it's good to be back.
I'm loving all your embryonic ideas.
Thank
and
you.
The demos that you dumped. Yeah, that's how I spent my morning, just drinking coffee and
oh, cool.
reliving some of the ellipse demos.
Yay.
And,
thank you.
Dance Like You're on Fire.
I know, I love that.
Fire.
It's really good. Yeah. I'm so excited about that. I've got a whole plan forming in my mind, and it's related. Well, I don't know how much I should give away right now because I haven't actually totally confirmed it with them, but it's related to a brand, but it's like a plug-in brand. I'm gonna give you a little teaser, and I kind of wrote this piece.
I have a guess.
Yes, you may do. Yes. I had a little test, with some of the plugins, and I still got to get my head around some other ones which I haven't touched for years. But I like the challenge. I like that box of going. I mean, they're not giving me the box; I'm giving myself the box. But like, try and make a piece of music with this. And what's come out of it is just, I love it. I just love that song. I think something special is going to happen with it. So I hope I get it right, I finish it and get it right. So what's your question, Corey? Do you have a question?
All right. I'm pretty sure it's ticket number 155.
Okay.
I've been a frequent flyer on AImogen. So I've got a lot of tickets, but the last time you were in the chair, you actually answered 2 of my 3 questions just in passing. So,
okay.
I was
well done,
really
me.
satisfied with that. So yeah, exactly.
So what was it? 153.
What was that?
153. Did you say?
155.
155. Okay. So what is it? What is the question?
Yes. Wait It Out is my favorite song of yours, and probably one of my favorite all-time favorite songs.
Oh, thanks.
And I remember you saying back in the B-Blog days that Zach Braff asked you to write a song for a film called Open Hearts.
Yeah.
But it got scrapped.
Yeah.
And I wondered, do you remember what that movie was about?
Yes.
And and maybe what the song means to you, if you're willing to share.
Yeah, sure. So I don't know how much I should give away because it's Zach Braff's script.
Right. Sure.
But he'll probably never find out. So basically, I got this script from. So what I've got to say. So ticket number 155, Wait It Out, was written for Zach Braff, who had developed a script called Open Hearts, and I got this script as I made my way between London and Maui. I'd stopped off in LA because I had to anyway, and I got this script from him, which was he just kind of sent an email a couple of days before saying, I'd love you to write for this this film, and I've got the script, can I send it to you? And I was like, I'm going to be in LA, could I just get it from you? So I don't know if I got it from him personally, but anyway, somehow got it. And then I read it on the flight, and I really loved the story, and I can't remember everything, but it involved an accident. I think the man was in the accident, and I think there was some paralyzed something, some, you know, really, really like life-changing accident. And it was about him being in the hospital, and how she was trying desperately to say, look, I love you no matter what, but he was impossible. And then there was something about a doctor as well, I think. Got the doctor theme in Zach's life, obviously. Yeah, so it came from really I can't remember if I latched it onto something of my own, but I really took to heart this idea that, you know, we're just going to wait it out the rest of your life. Just not making a change, just going to sit here and be depressed, and that's just going to be it from now on. We've just decided that. And I suppose, you know, that for me, it's an amalgam of many different people that I've met, or that I wasn't going out with anyone at the time with that sensibility, but I have had, and myself too. So, yeah, it wasn't about anyone specifically. So sometimes songs are very specific, like Hide and Seek, and Speeding Cars, and other songs are more like a combination of past experiences or something that's going on in the news, or pulled together to create a song that ultimately is accessing something that I need to share. You know, it is cathartic. But yeah, I was so happy with that song because I wrote it so quickly. I was terrified at I think I said this in the app. I don't know if have you heard the demo of Wait It Out?
I did.
Yeah. So that's basically, I wrote some notes on the script, and then I got into this beautiful place called Paliuli on Maui, and it was the only place that was super, super fancy, and I'm really splashed up, so I was like, I'm going to actually have a holiday, and then I'm going to do the writing trip. But I thought that Maui would kind of be just a kind of decompression before the actual writing happened. But on the first day, I put my bags down. I arrived in Maui, put my bags down in the apartment, and I just wrote the song. I just came really, really quickly, and then I sent it to Zach within a few hours of that. So yeah, it's pretty cool, and it gave me this real confidence for the rest of the trip that I had this one in the bag because I knew Zach liked it. Ultimately, what happened is it didn't end up going in a film, and then I did write the album. So yeah, so it did its job of giving me the confidence to believe in myself, and if nothing else, at least I had that. Yeah, in the end, actually, he did put it in another song, and I don't think he liked the version that was on the album because he wanted to have something a bit more guitar-y, a bit more acoustic, and he'd done this. I can't remember what film it was in, but it was in another film. And I sent him this demo of, maybe I could put that on the app, of me with Leo, my friend Leo, played all these beautiful acoustic guitars. And I did my best to do a acoustic guitar version of this song. But Zach didn't like it. So he got someone else to sing it. The insult. No, not really. Anyway, it's fine. It ended up in the song. I think I got paid. So there you go. But it wasn't what we expected. Yeah, but Catty, can you remind me to find that demo version? I'll have to ask Leo for it. The version that I sent to Zach that he didn't use. Yes. All right.
Would there be any of frou demos coming to the app that you know of?
I'll have to discuss that with Guy.
Of course.
I haven't yet discussed it with him. I imagine maybe
I've
not.
been trying to track down a frou song. There's only a snippet of it on YouTube, and it feels like this journey that I've been on for 10 or 15 years trying to find the song.
Oh, no.
Finally
put it to rest. What is that? Deal with it? Is that the one?
It's Deal with It. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why we didn't ever release the rest of that song, because we had finished it. I remember thinking, I have no idea why we did that now. It was something to do with, it was probably some really rubbish, cold-hearted marketing ploy to try and entice listeners into signing up for something, or I don't know what it would have been, but it wouldn't have been our idea, because that's just mean, isn't it? Just giving half a song.
Exactly.
I will ask Guy, but I imagine it doesn't belong to us, unfortunately. It probably belongs to Island Records and all sorts of rubbish. But maybe not, because it wasn't released. So maybe it does revert to us. I will ask Catty to remind me to ask Alexi to email Guy and Island Records to see if we can put that song on the app. Okay. That would be really good, wouldn't it? Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for all of those questions. They're lovely. Lovely to chat to you, and see you someplace soon.
Definitely. Have a good weekend.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Okay, next up we've got Alex Anderson. Okay, he's coming in. Oh my goodness, we've got 8 people still waiting. I do apologise for my extreme shiny face. I have no idea why I'm so shiny. It's so shiny. I just need to get some powder. I don't have any powder. I've got this thing here. It doesn't ever want to go away. Right, Alex, are you there?
Miss Heap, how do you do?
He is there. Hello, nice to see you. Welcome
Nice to see you as well.
to the chair.
Thank you.
So, hello, where are you in the world?
I am currently in South Dakota.
South Dakota.
I am going to see fireworks at Mount Rushmore. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the landmark.
Yes, I have heard of it. I know it's it's an important place.
It's a big deal, yeah.
Yes.
You should definitely go out and see it next time you're on tour in the States.
Oh, of course, I'm looking at it. Yes, of course, yes. And you haven't yet engraved Trump on there.
Not quite yet. No, not quite yet.
No. Do you think that will ever happen?
I have no idea. Oh, wait, have I ever been to London? Is that your question?
Yes, that's my question. Has that?
I've been to Heathrow Airport. That's about as far as I've got.
Oh, no, my question was, do you think Donald Trump will ever end up on Mount Rushmore?
Oh, I don't think so.
Crikey.
That's part of like meme culture.
That would be incredible. Anyway,
yeah, for sure.
Let's talk about that. So, you have a question?
I do have a question, but first I want to verbally thank you for saying happy birthday for my sister. Her birthday is tomorrow.
Daira. No, what's her name?
Dana. Close.
Dana, that's right, yeah. Yeah, my pleasure. Did she like the rendition of the song? Was it Come Here Boy? No,
it was Have You Got It In You? And her birthday's tomorrow, so she has not
Oh, that's right. I see. Okay. And
she
then
will absolutely freak out.
Oh, that's so lovely of you. And then I also did the kind of honky-tonk version of Happy Birthday for her too.
Yes, I did not anticipate that, but that was very well done.
Good. No, well, happy birthday to Dana, for real.
Yes.
Yeah, will you have a hangover after tonight, do you think? Do you think you'll be ready for her birthday celebrations?
Yeah, you know what, I probably would have to watch my alcohol limit for sure. She lives states away, so I'm just going to be able to send her the clip, and she'll probably send me a call freaking out. We'll go from there.
Cool. So, Alex, tell me, you have a question?
I do have a question, and it may be better if I give a little, clarity to the question to direct your answer. Okay. But my question specifically for AImogen was, how would you describe Sparks in comparison to your other albums?
Oh, yeah.
And I thought that maybe I would describe exactly how I feel about your other albums. At least Speak for Yourself and Ellipse.
Mm-hmm.
Speak for Yourself was actually the album that got me into your music.
Yeah.
And to me, whenever I listen to it, I feel like I'm embarking on a journey. Like it's a very participatory experience, and I think that's attributed in part to the way that the textures and the instruments are arranged on the tracks. It feels very grand, very spacious, and I think that headline kind of immediately invites me in. And the lips, I actually watched the documentary for that recently, and it gave me a better appreciation for the album. But when it first came out in 2009, I was just like, I don't know if I really like this. Yeah. Very much so. I just did not anticipate or even accept, I think, the direction that you chose there. Yeah. And I think watching the documentary, I've since then, I really appreciate the album. In fact, I think whenever I want to get my music fix for Imogen, I usually pluck from those tracks. But I think what I was not anticipating was how honest it feels. And I think maybe sonically, the album feels a little bit quieter than Speak for Yourself. And instead of it being kind of a participatory experience, I feel more like a spectator to something more intimate that's going on. And that's not to say that that's anything bad, but it just kind of elicits a different type of emotional response when I listen to it.
Okay.
It feels very authentic. So I don't know if you think of or have thought about your albums in the same way that a listener, consumer of your art does. But I thought specifically for Sparks, if you had any thought about that, including in relation to AImegon as well.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. I've never really thought about, I try to have a concept of how something might feel when it's sung to you. And before I met Guy, I'd never really thought about the listener in the same way that I did after I'd met him. He described music like a joke. So you can tell a joke, but if there's no one there to hear the punchline, then it's just a kind of, floating thing. It doesn't really hit. And the same with music. You could slave away, but if nobody ever hears that, then it's just kind of doesn't really exist in some way. Almost. It does, because there's some process that is beneficial to me, obviously, in creating the music. But the big, kind of the lock opening is the interaction with the listener too. It's very much a partnership. So yeah, with AImegon, I was completely oblivious to the listener. Just had no concern. It was all about me. It was all teenage angst, and I thought I was extremely cool and knew it all. Frou really helped me kind of put in the bigger picture where I was in relation to the listener and the songs, and that was very helpful. And then Speak for Yourself. It's interesting that you say it's like bolder. No, you said it was grander. And
grand, yes.
Yeah. And I wonder if it's because in the production it's very it's simpler. It's kind of meaty. It's got like very kind of clean synth sounds, and because I was into this, I'm looking at it now, my EMX one, this little Korg machine, and that had that kind of sound, like that 16-bit kind of a bit low res. That maybe there was more room because there was less density in the production. And I think with Ellipse, so with Speak for Yourself, it was very much a solo experience. I had a boyfriend and a manager, but other than that, I kind of didn't really see anyone other than this man called Rupert Hine, who's recently passed away. But it's very much kind of quite solitary experience, apart from the guys on my Babel board who I interacted with quite a lot. With Ellipse, there was a lot more on my shoulders. I'd bought this family house, and to great expense, and was trying to keep it standing, this beautiful 200-year-old house. And perhaps I felt I had to do it justice. Like I had to really flesh things out and make things really sumptuous and dense, and something about that. And maybe in doing that, it feels less involved because there's less space in the sound for the listener. Maybe that's why you feel more like you're an observer rather than a integrated part of. Because it's like if a rhythm is too dense, there's no space for you to move, really. There's no space for you to feel yourself. It's the syncopation, like the beats that don't hit, that actually you feel the groove. And perhaps with Ellipse, that's the thing. It's kind of very dense. It's like a full picture, and there's less air or something, maybe. I don't know. I'm just talking what comes to mind. I haven't thought about it really.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's interesting. Interesting that you say that. I don't come from the music world myself, so it's cool to hear your perspective about that. And again, I've not really thought about it that way, but just trying to really touch on why I feel that way. It's very interesting.
But in relation to Sparks, I'll click record now. So this was 155, yeah?
Ooh,
was that you?
The number.
Or was that somebody else?
No, that was.
What was the ticket number? Before. Can you remember?
I can't remember.
I
can't find it.
Oh well, we'll figure it out. It was quite recent, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Well, I'll just, if you remember, let me know.
Okay.
So I'll just click. So Sparks, in relation to the other albums, was purely based around collaboration with other projects. I was trying to diversify my creative self into the physical realm with the gloves, generative and reactive music with Runtime, different places on Earth like China with Shizu She Knows, and Bhutan with the 2 instrumental tracks. And it was all, and the listening chair, which was a huge collaboration, trying to uncover a song that I felt was missing in the world. And ultimately I ended up writing one of the most personal songs that I've ever written, because somebody said in this chair, why don't you should just write a song that means something to you. And I was like, slap in the face. Okay. So now I have a song that will never end unless I die, which obviously I will, unless AImogen takes over, who knows. So yeah, in with that album, it was very like a whirlwind of people and place and time within like a 3 or 4 month period, that was condensed into a song. So as a result, I kind of shift wildly, but it's more like a diary, I suppose, capturing moments. And obviously I was going through emotional things as well. Like Me the Machine was a really tough one not to write, actually. I just kind of realized that I was writing this song, developing this technology that was to help me feel less machine, that ultimately I felt completely trapped in it because it was such early developments and I was not getting any sleep. I was working 24/7. So yeah, that one, I don't know how that would make the listener feel. Yeah, I guess it's less, it has to be quite varied because it spans across 4 years of projects. One project every 4 months or something. So yeah, maybe it feels quite disjointed, or I don't know. You've got to tell me. You're the listener. What do you think it feels like?
Yeah, I'm afraid of what to tell you. How
you don't like it. You don't like it at all, do you?
No, it's not that. I do enjoy it, but I would agree that it does feel disjointed.
Yeah.
Whether that's for better or for worse.
Mm.
But I do really feel like, to your point about it being different projects come together, it does feel like every track is in and of itself its own journey.
Mm.
So while not like Speak for Yourself, and to be completely honest, I haven't really dug through iMegaphone enough to really comment on that.
You don't need to dig through that one.
Okay. Speak for Yourself and Ellipse, I feel more complete as an album, both as albums, in terms of like the focus. I feel like Sparks feels a little bit unfocused, but each track feels like its own little journey.
Yeah, I think that's right. It's each track is exactly that. It's a full set of people and stuff going on, that would, for some people, would be an entire album's worth of time. You know, people do. So I don't know how they do it, but they do write albums in 3 months and spit them out. So yeah, with Speak for Yourself, I was literally doing nothing else. I did nothing else for a whole year. That was completely immersed in the album, buying the kit, you know, day in, day out, going into the studio, just didn't do anything else for a whole year. And with Ellipse, pretty much the same thing, but it was a little bit extended because I had to build the studio, which is probably another reason why I wanted it to be all kind of glitzy, and not glitzy, but I don't know, very textured and deep layers, because I had this fancy new studio and I wanted to do justice, or make it feel like
you were proving a concept.
Yeah. And then Sparks was done all over the world. And I really loved doing Sparks. It was really hard. But it was I learned a lot about myself on that journey, and I was much happier making that record than other records, because I was with other people. I wasn't just left to my own craziness day in, day out. It was very collaborative, not on the music potentially, but on the projects. Yeah. So it was good to do. But now I'm ready to do much more traditional, immerse myself in a record type thing. Yeah, which is what I've started to put little bits up on. But my problem now is it will still probably take 2 years to do a record. I don't think I'll do a record, or whether it will just be a song every now and then. So maybe that will feel disjointed. But in terms of the focus, it will be very much around just me being in the studio, connecting with feelings and ideas, and more traditional way of writing, because it feels more like much more like a privilege to be in the studio now. The time of that with my daughter, it's really hard to find the time. I've got to change the way I write music, because I can't hold myself away for days on end and not eat properly and live in the dark. I've got to try and find a way to do it in like 5 hours a day. Yeah,
different era now.
Yeah,
it's interesting too, just as an aside, with the pandemic that's going on, there seems to be a mentality that people have so much time now to do whatever they want to do because of job situation, or just the lack of I guess extracurricular activities in society. For me, myself personally, it's like, well, now I'm kind of dealing with like all the trauma of what's going on, and really trying to spend time to grieve and not just cope. And I think that is something that people miss out on. People don't realize all the time.
Yeah. It can be very overwhelming though, can't it? I was just listening to this podcast the other day about the fate of America, there's some scary stuff going on. It's hard to disengage. And also it's just 24/7, just all the time. So I've actually I switched off from all of that. Because there's nothing I can really do right now. I'm just, I've got to look after my little family unit and get back to making music, and try and pop my head up every now and then to engage with what's going on in the world.
Yeah. Well, excited to hear about new music though, and I feel like music is one of those things, being transcendental, that is healing to a lot of people, and just hearing the new things that you've been up to these days, I think it will help people get through it.
Yeah. Well, I'm loving doing these improvisations. That's just my favourite thing at the moment. It's just so good for me. So good for me to just sit there and improvise and just let everything wash over me. And I see the comments, I see what people are saying, I feel connected. And then, occasionally do these songs for people too. It's just, I really love it. I'm so grateful for being able to do that. So thank you, Alex. That was a very lovely chat. I will try and condense that answer into what will go into AImogen. And have a lovely time in Mount Rushmore with the fireworks.
Will do.
Take good care of yourself. Yeah. Bye for now. Okay, who is next? Where's it gone? There it is. Steph McStee. Tea and Monsters. Steph McStee. Steph McStee. Are you there? Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Nice to see you.
Yeah, good too. How are you doing?
Doing all right. I'm getting a. It's quite I don't know. I kind of go in and out of feeling fatigued talking, and then I feel rejuvenated again. So I think seeing maybe I'll let you do some talk for a bit while I have some water.
Okay.
I'll let that one talk.
Yes.
Who's that?
Yeah, that's my dog. Well, it's my partner's dog. Her name is Didi.
Bibi?
Didi.
Didi.
Like Texas laboratory.
Oh, I see. Very cute. Can we get a pic? Can I see the dog, Didi?
Not at the moment.
No.
Because the door is closed so that she doesn't scream out of the window.
Oh, okay. Yes, we don't want that. Okay, so tell me, Steph, what was your question?
Okay, so my question was super important. It's a very, very serious question.
Oh.
It's number 163.
Yeah.
My question is, if you had a boat, what would you call it?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yes, I was hoping to come up with a good answer by now. And I might have to update AImogen in time. So I'll just. This is not going to be a very good answer because I just haven't really had time to. I feel the pressure. If I had a boat, it would probably take me a year to think of a name for her. But for now, the name I would give. Oh wait, ticket number 15. What was it? 7.
163.
163. Ticket number 163. If I had a boat, I would call her Shirayo, after the song that Guy wrote with a lovely vocalist musician from a small island of Okinawa, which is about the sea and about goodwill in the sea and peace and calm. And I think we could all use quite a lot of that at the moment, especially if you're on the sea and there are big waves. So I would call my boat Shirayo. But I need to ask Guy to remind me exactly what the song's about, because I sang that song every show on the last tour, and I feel like it's about beauty and calm and togetherness and the ocean, and but I don't really know. Yeah, it's a very lovely song that she wrote with him. Yeah, so it's not the best answer, but I will date that, and when I come up with a better answer, I will update her. But for now, I will call her Shirayo, the boat.
Yeah, that's a pretty great answer already, to be fair.
Okay, cool. I heard
you sing it in. Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. I was going to say, if you had a boat, what would you call it?
Capitan.
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 Okay, cool. So what were you going to say? You saw me sing Shirayo at the tour?
Yes, I saw you in Newcastle, and it was really special.
Oh yeah, I love that venue. It's a lovely venue. I've got that's at the Gateshead. What's it called? Sage.
Yeah.
Is that where you're from?
Next to the river. Well, yes, I am. I'm from Newcastle originally.
Okay.
I don't live there anymore. But,
where do you live now?
Yeah. I live in Wakefield.
Wakefield.
So it's not too far from Leeds.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Yeah. Well, it was very lovely to chat to you, Steph. Thank you very much for the question.
You too. Thank you.
Take care. See you.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Okay. Chatty is going to remove you. So we've got Brit Berry. Oh, Brit. The Brit of all Brits. Is it the Brit? The Brit with the mean Brit. Brit. Is it? Are you there? Are you there? Are you there? I don't know if you are. Are you there? Well, no, doesn't appear she is. Wait a minute, I'm just going to check that this is the Brit that I think it is. Brit. I can't find it. Can't hear Brit. Has Brit been invited in? Oh, there she is. No, almost. You there? Dum. Is she there? Yes, she is. It is. Hello. Oh, I can't hear you, but I can see you. I can see you. Nice poster in the background. Can't hear you yet, Britt. Nope. Use computer audio if you have a choice. No, I can't hear you. You're not muted though. If you've got any other applications open that take your video, like Instagram or WhatsApp, I need to turn them off. No, not WhatsApp. Probably wouldn't make any difference. Isn't this the story of our lives right now? The remote meetings. You know, try out your microphone on this. Try unmuting that. Try putting a video here. The amount of hours in the day that goes to that. It's okay, Britt. We have all experienced this. I will just continue talking. I tell you what. While Britt is figuring out how to get her voice in here, I will play you another demo that is on the app. Where would I get it? Actually, this isn't on the app yet. I'm considering whether or not to put this up here. Last week, I think I spoke about Come Here Boy. Because my friend Nick Kershaw produced one of the 7 versions of that song. And I found a version of it. Come here. Here it is. And I've emailed him to ask if it's okay. But I've got to wait for him to say yes. Anyway, this is what it used to sound like. It's dark in here. It's got a really low bass line. I'm falling. Sounds like the exact same vocal. I still can't hear you, Britt. Don't worry. Take your time. So all those harmonies have always been there ever since the first demo that Nick did with me when I was 17. Anyway, the interesting thing about this version, which isn't yet uploaded, sorry. This is the middle section. This never ended up on a record. You can do what you want to me. It's very naughty. You can do what you want. Anyway, it never ended up on a record. Oh, are you there? No, I still can't hear you, Britt. I'm so sorry. Maybe Catty could invite you into another Zoom with her, and she could figure out how to get your audio working. Yeah, maybe Catty could do that. Catty, can you do that? Just checking in here. Catty. Let me just send a little message to Catty. Oh no, it's not like me. Catty, please can you do a private Zoom with Britt to get her microphone working? Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna get her to do that for you. But don't worry, we'll get back to you. Yeah, and I'm gonna go with someone else for now. Is that okay? Nod if that's okay. Okay, cool. All right, I'll chat to you in a bit. We're going to move over to Sarah, maybe. Okay, here we go. I'm going to hopefully... Okay. Catty, you're going to have to take Britt off. Sorry, everyone. And I'm going to add in Sarah, maybe. Sarah, maybe. Maybe she's here, maybe she's not. Sarah, maybe. Are you there? Ah, there you are.
Hey.
I can hear you. How are you doing?
Good. I'm gonna turn off.
You've got what?
I had you on my iPad, so I didn't want to hear you.
Ah.
On my iPad.
Yes. Nice to hear your voice. How are you doing?
Doing okay.
So for everyone who doesn't know, Sarah is a part of our team. Sarah's been really helpful over the years and officially kind of worked with us on the team and toured with us and really helped interact with the enablers who were on the tour for the last, who kind of funded the early days of the tour. So thank you to all of them and to Sarah. Yeah, so Sarah, hello. Very lovely. I'm sorry we couldn't, because you're another reason that we had to do a Saturday, because you work in the week, don't you, obviously, as do most people. So
I'd love a live stream on the weekend too.
I'm gonna do that. I can't do this Tuesday. I mean, I have to do this Tuesday, but I will try and make next Saturday the next live improv stream.
I mean, it is nice to come home from work and have like 3 hours of Imogen live stream to listen to.
Good.
That is
good.
really nice. So, I don't mind that, but it would be nice to interact live, while you're doing it live.
Yeah, that'd be nice to have you on there. So tell me, Sarah, what is your question?
So I have a few questions. I have 3 different ticket numbers, but I don't remember which question they go to.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's helpful or not.
That's right. We'll figure it out.
So do you want the ticket number? Or?
Yes. I'd like. Give me the 3 ticket numbers, and we can match them later.
Okay, my ticket numbers are 166, 167, and 168.
Okay. 166, 166. Okay, get it. Okay, go for it.
So I wanted to know the story behind Scout's long name.
Yes, that's right. I remember. Okay, I'm not going to tell you exactly the story, but I will tell you most of it because I haven't told Scout yet. Okay, here we go. The reason why Scout is called Scout is because Mike, Scout's dad, we were on holiday. I was 7 months pregnant. No, 8 months pregnant. Just 8 months pregnant. Just finished the Reverb show, very stressful show, awful show at the Roundhouse.
It wasn't awful.
It was pretty awful. It was awful for me. It was terrifying. Anyway. Yeah. I was extremely pregnant, and I mean, I was pregnant, but I was very large and I had gone slightly mad, and I tried to attempt to do things that I wasn't yet capable of doing and still aren't, like playing the bass and lots of other things that I was trying to do.
You had the gloves that were...
I had the gloves.
I was there, so I remember.
Yes. Yeah, it was traumatic. It was actually really traumatic, and it took me a few years to get my mojo back. Anyway, I'm back now. So there we were in Croatia, looking over Dubrovnik, as you do, very romantic. And we had a name that was Buster. And we didn't have any other names at all. But for some reason, everybody thought that Scout was going to be a boy. So we kind of thought, oh, it's probably going to be a boy. So we just kept calling this thing Buster, 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 Buster. And then I was like, we really should figure out a girl's name that we like, just in case. Because we couldn't think of anything. We both know so many people, and everyone we know has, something about them which, oh, the host muted me. What? What? What's just happened? Ah! What just happened? What? Sorry, I realised that Restream can still see me. But for some reason, we just got logged out, which is a bit annoying. Right, everyone can see me on Restream. Stay there. I'm going to try and get everyone back. I feel a bit bad because we just... how did that happen? That was weird. Right, let me try and figure out how to get that meeting back. I need to find the meeting. Right, just bear with me. I'm very sorry for doing that. I don't know how that happened. I'm going to go to Zoom and I'm going to log in. And I'm going to try and find the meeting again. And I'm going to somehow get that meeting back. I have no idea how to do that. Previous meetings. Today, go, join. Ugh, so annoying. Damn it. Right, sorry everyone, bear with me. Joined by computer audio. Sarah, you're still there? You still there, Sarah? Catty Sarah. I can still see you. I can still see your names. Oh, I feel really bad about that. Sorry. Right, I need to add myself into this one now. I need to join in Firefox. Sorry, gang. Sorry, Sarah. Bear with me. Sorry about this. I'm just gonna. I need to find the meeting ID. Don't tell me online. Wait there. Sarah, could you type the meeting ID in the chat? Sorry. Okay, looks like Justin's on it. Sorry, guys. Yeah, should we have another little piece of music while we get back to chatting with the gang? Sorry for everyone who was waiting. Sorry. I don't know why that happened. Very annoying. Okay, let's find another song. I know what I'll play you. So, let me find it. Where is it? Sorry, everyone. Sorry. Right, just trying to find a song. Oh! Did I already play that? Did I already play this? The new song I did? Did I play that? Did I? I don't remember if I did. Anyway, I'm going to playing it again. Here we go. This is a new song I did. I haven't put this one up on the web yet, on the app. I've done it, only got the vocals on it. But this has got a cool bass line. I don't know if anyone knows Christine and the Queens. Chris. Anyway, it kind of reminds me a bit about her. Oh, I've just got to turn it down because I've got to just mute the Zoom call. One sec. Mute site. Oh no, this is not going to happen. Oh, there you go. It's got some added internet delay, but there we go. Okay, so this is the kind of chorus. Sarah, could you mute you for a sec? Oh, there's some delay going on there, but that doesn't matter. So there we go. Mute site. There, that was me actually, probably, sorry. Right, we're back. We've got Sarah back, and I was still recording. I've been recording the longest load of rubbish ever. So, Sarah, what was your question? Oh, Scout. Okay, so back to Scout. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I would love somebody to tell me what the hell just happened. Okay, here we go again. Mike and I were on holiday, our final holiday before our child came out into the world, and we had a name, Buster, and Buster was a boy's name, but we needed a girl's name, so we thought about names that were a bit like Buster, and I thought about this name Scout, and I hadn't ever heard of that as a girl's name before because I hadn't read the book that everyone was like, oh, that's from that book, and I still haven't read it. So anyway, Scout came about in my mind, and previously to that I hadn't at all felt like a mum. I hadn't felt like I was capable of being a mum, like it was a good idea really at all. I felt like I wasn't able to envisage myself as a mother, and it was worrying me because I felt like I probably should be. So after that, I actually went, I think it was probably the last massage I've ever had. So I went and had a really nice massage, and I got sandwiched between that awake, the sleep mode, where you're kind of really lucidly dreaming. And I had this very clear vision of me walking down a street holding this little girl's hand, who had like little ringlets. Scout doesn't have ringlets, but she had ringlets, a little pretty little dress. And we were walking down the street. Actually, I don't know if she had a dress. I'm just saying that, I can't remember. And I felt in that moment, when I woke up, I felt I'm going to be a mum, and I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm going to be a great mum. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to be the best I can being a mum. And I felt like I could be a mum, basically, after that dream, that kind of waking dream thing. So I thought, if it's a girl, I'd like to call her Scout. But she also has two other names. Florence. Florence is the last lady, the last baby that was born in this house 150 years before Scout. The last girl that survived. Her name was Florence, so that's the other name, who ended up being who helped her brother. She never married, but she was born in this house, as was Scout, in the blue room. And the other name is Rosie. Sorry, wait a minute. What's her name? Rosie. Yeah, because at the time the Rosetta spacecraft was flying over that comet, and the little Philae went down and was the first little craft to land on a meteor, and it all seemed very important at the time, so we called her Rosie as well. And then obviously Heap is my name and Labor is his name, so she's got a very long name, and that's why she's called it. So there we go. Do you know that?
It's very cute. I did not know all that.
Yeah, but I think really Scout likes Rosie more. I don't like it as much as Scout. She's definitely a Scout to me.
Yeah, and you are a very good mother.
Thank you. Yeah, sometimes I feel like I do it.
Really fun to see that side of you, like, on tour.
Yeah.
So, and Scout's great. She's a lot of fun.
She is, and she loved you too. So thank you for helping out.
Yeah, Toa had a lot of fun with her, and they had that little play date too. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, the days when we toured.
You have vampires.
What?
He's convinced you have vampires in your forest.
We might do.
He watched the Royal Albert Hall show with me, and he's like, "Oh, there's vampires there. Look, I see a bruise on her. They tried to get her blood."
Yes, but I escaped because I'm superhuman. Yes. Tell him there are definitely vampires in the woods. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I told him they're fiction. His dad's convinced him that they're nonfiction.
That's right. You can tell him what it'd be like. So
that was one of my other questions, though, was if you'd ever write any more children's music.
Yeah.
There was a delay, so I just saw you like biting yourself.
Yes. So what number was that? Do you think? 178 or something? 167 maybe.
168 possibly.
168. So ticket number 168. I would love to write more children's songs. I really enjoyed writing the Happy song. I think I would write more for Scout's age now. And the question is when. I feel like I want to write some adult music. I want to write some Imogen Heap songs. But if the opportunity came up that, I could kind of latch it onto something, or there was something particularly going on, or Scout wanted to write a song that we could write together, I would like to do that. Maybe that would be the nice next thing to do, would be to write a song with Scout. Yeah, probably write one with her.
She could get a creative passport then.
Yeah, then exactly. She could get great. She should really already have one, because she played the drums on Tiny Human. She did a little bit of percussion on that, and she's obviously featured in the Happy song, which is my second most popular song ever. So maybe she should even get some royalties. Who knows?
Yeah, or you should do more music with her.
Yeah. Well, I should just do more music non-stop. Full stop.
Yeah. Do you think you'd ever cover any classic nursery rhymes? I guess someone could ask that for the live streams.
Yeah. Yes, that's true.
£500.
£500, and I will sing Rockabye Baby. Most kids' songs are like quite terrifying. They're like, you know, like Ring a Ring of Roses is about dying of the plague or something. Rockabye Baby is about a baby falling out and dying. It's not ideal, is it? Most nursery rhymes. Can you think of a good one that you'd like me to cover?
Like Wheels on the Bus or something.
Live on the Bus?
No, Wheels on the Bus.
Oh, Wheels on the Bus. Yeah. And then we could add all kinds of interesting things like the CCTV camera on the bus goes looking at you. Yeah, like the modern day Wheels on the Bus. Coronavirus patient sneezing you. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, all kinds of modern day version of Wheels on the Bus. Yeah. Okay, I'll have a think about that.
Yeah, you could get other artists involved, perhaps.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So I had two other questions. So I get these asked, like, because I do your Facebook messages, and often people want to know if they can use your songs in a YouTube video.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, not for financial gain, but just like they have a, family, their video, their friends or something. Yeah. They want to put your music in the background.
Yes. So the question of can fans use my music in their videos? The answer for me personally is yes. However, it is not that simple because YouTube has a content ID situation that sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. And when it does work, it should give notification of a song's usage to the license holders, which for most of my songs like Speak for Yourself, iMegaphone, Ellipse, not Sparks in the UK, but Sparks in the US and Canada and Mexico, are all owned by Sony. Island Records is Frou Frou, and iMegaphone is, I think, Universal or Concord. Oh, I can't remember. It's very complicated. So essentially, it's a yes if it's something that I license. However, my content ID from my YouTube will pick it up and will probably flag it that you're not allowed to use it. There's no kind of easy way to allow for recordings to be used in that context, which is something that needs to be addressed. Because even yesterday, whenever it was, it's a different thing because I was singing a song of my own that I don't have the licenses for Let Go. Yeah, so I wrote it with Guy. So I sang that on my stream, and then YouTube Content ID picked it up and attributed the writing side of it as owned by somebody else, which is Island Records. Oh, sorry, Concord, I think. Concord Publishing. Or Warner Chappell. Oh, I don't know. There's too many. And so therefore they pick up all the royalties of that video, not their portion. It's very complicated. The exciting thing is, I'm just going to... So in short, the answer is, what I should do is put on my website a list of things that you don't need to ask permission for because I own them. And if it's for non-commercial purposes, like just in your wedding or whatever, it's totally fine. But if it's something that can be caught by the Sony YouTube Content ID, then it might get taken down because that's up to them. But in 3 years' time, it'll all revert back to me. Wonderful. I will have my licenses back, not for Frou Frou and not for iMegaphone. I'll never get those, but I will get everything from Speak for Yourself onwards. So that's a big, exciting moment when that happens. And then there'll be a lot easier to do stuff. And hopefully by then we'll have technology that will enable specific use cases within the content ID for you to specify exactly, some kind of smart contract like thing, how you're happy with people to use that music. And there is something that's emerging in the EU, a copyright infrastructure. Actually, we're part of one of the bids, hopefully, to be the identity platform for musicians to integrate into a copyright infrastructure so that you can attribute licensing information and publishing, all the kind of details that you need so that any service that needs to have that for Content ID has it. at the base layer, so that you can basically call the shots of how you want your stuff to be used, and up it goes. It's a little bit more complex than that, but anyway, there's something happening soon, hopefully in the next couple of years, that will make it a lot easier for artists to be able to say what's able, what's not able, so that it leaves for, you know, better collaboration. Because ultimately I want people to, you know, listen to my music, play my music, dance to my music. I want it to happen. Yeah. Okay.
It must be frustrating as like an artist, like you, especially when you produce your music and then now like, you don't own rights to it.
The past records, yeah. That's why I own them all now. But yeah, it wasn't really possible. It just wasn't possible in the past. The structure wasn't there. Everything was, you know, major labels or indie labels. They had these very tough deals, but now, you know, so much has been democratized, and you can stick stuff up all over the place. The tricky thing is now making it make sense. It's very easy to get stuff up and get stuff out there and get heard. Well, it's not easy to get heard, but it's easy to put stuff up. I mean, everyone's trying to get heard, but it hasn't kind of completed the circle in how that comes back to the artist. Yeah. But yeah, we'll get there. It's early days. It's only been decades, hasn't it? We've only really just started, so I'm sure we'll get there.
So along that same lines, someone asked me recently too, they remixed one of your songs and they wanted to post it on their socials, and they wanted to know if that was okay. Like, all your fans are very, like, that I've encountered, very considerate and like wanting to make sure it's okay with you if they use your music or they remix it. And so
what song was it?
AI. I could look.
Because again, if it's anything from those 2 albums, or anything before basically about 5 years ago, then no, because it's all Sony or whoever.
They posted it. They could post, like, it's okay with you if they post it, but it could get taken down from the label.
Yeah,
or it's just
it's fine with me, but I'm not the one who has the rights. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, if that went through official channels and like they wanted it to be an official remix, and they wanted to like release it, then they definitely have to go through the labels. Otherwise, I mean, there's endless like fan remixes and versions and covers and samples and endless amounts of stuff out there, and I'm generally up for it. So I'd say yes, but it might get taken down. Okay. But I don't mind. Yeah. Don't tell Sony I said that.
Okay, I'll let them know. That's what I kind of told them, like, that I didn't think you'd mind as long as it's like not for financial gain and credit you.
Yeah.
And I told her, if she does mind, she'll politely tell you. Like, she's not gonna be like, I'm mad at you.
Yeah, no, it's totally. And even if I don't like it, I still want it to be out there. I still want people to, you know, find a way to express themselves. And if that involves my music, it's great. I don't want to stop that. Yeah. The song has its own life.
That's true. I was wondering, on the answers you give to AImogen, are those like, could someone who doesn't know about AImogen and they're like wanting to know, like, oh, what does Imogen think about this? Will those show up like in a Google search, or would you have to like only be able to ask AImogen?
In time, perhaps. I mean, yeah, interesting. You mean if the stuff that we put into Discovery into AImogen would pop up on Google?
Yeah.
I don't think it would. No, I don't think it would, because it exists on a server that only AImogen can access, unless we opened it up to however Google searches on some kind of open database. But perhaps Justin can confirm that with me. Yeah, and I'm not sure what I would like. If I would like it to be searchable through Google or not, really. Quite like the idea that you have to go to AImogen. But also the point of it is to simplify my life by having the correct answers out there. And so if they're not on Google, which is where everyone's going, then that defeats the object. So, but for now, it's very in this kind of closed experimental space. In the future, perhaps like the Creative Passport, where it puts out information that is factually correct, from the horse's mouth about their works, about their biography, about whatever that might be, brand relations, all that kind of stuff. That AI should be, AImogen should be an extension of that in terms of actual factual correct answers, as up to date as they can be. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
Or maybe even like certain answers you'd want could be like on your website or something, like so someone could like a frequently asked questions or something like, oh, what does Imogen think about this?
Yeah.
So they're not like always asking, but the more personal ones are maybe ones you don't want. Like, so equally accessible. You have to access. In this community.
Maybe what I'd like more is, because I don't really want people to experience it just as text. In the future, I would like to have a visual kind of aura around what I'm saying, and it might be that my voice is speaking the answers in time. It might not be just text. This is a very basic version of it. So at the moment, it wouldn't really matter. It could just be Google search and it just come up as text, as like anything else. But in the future, if Google was still around, then it would come up with AImogen as a first answer that then you could go in and immerse yourself into the world of Augmented Imogen, which would involve music. Ultimately, in time, it might be getting emotional data from your camera if you were willing to share that with AImogen, and she would write music for you to accompany your experience with chatting with AImogen at the time, or even just have as a background accompaniment to your work or whatever you were doing on the internet if you didn't have any, if you wanted to listen to music. So she's got many different expanded potentials that I can't do as a human.
Right, I guess that makes more sense because this is AI, so I could be you there, so it would just be flat like text.
Yeah.
Like because you're doing your heart rate and all that, so you can't just Google. Like it's supposed to be like you can't Google.
Yeah.
You as an actor.
Yeah. It's some kind of digital entity, some presence, and whether it would be, I would be me, like anthropomorphized. Is that the right word? Or whether it would be me as a city, or me as a sunset, or me as in relation to your own city, or I don't know, how would I express myself visually? Maybe I would just be a bunch of flurries like the IBM Think piece.
Or would you use, and you could use maybe some of the runtime? Wouldn't that be some of the same technology, perhaps, like interacting with your environment?
Yeah, it'd be that kind of technology. It would need a lot of different inputs and a lot of just a huge amount of library of huge amount of data, and to be able to look at your face and go, oh, she's licking her lips, maybe I don't know what that means, but I know that other people do, like, or oh, she's smiling, or oh, she's nodding to her left, or she's looking up to her, all these things suggest certain actual emotions or feelings, tiny little micro moments that the music could react to in real time, or do the opposite to try and make you feel if you were down, to kind of help you balance, or if you're a bit like to try and calm you down for sleep, or whatever it might be.
Maybe distract you if you're not wanting to feel something.
Maybe, yeah. All right, Sarah. Well, thank you very much for the questions. Very lovely to see your face.
Thank you.
And have a good week at work, and catch you maybe next Saturday on the live music stream.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, take care. Bye. Right, I'm going to go to Jamie. I've met Jamie before. Now I can't see anyone else, but there were lots of other people waiting. I feel really bad. So if you're still there, it's the same meeting ID that I sent you. You can rejoin if you'd like to, I believe, through that method. Right, now Jamie should be on here any moment. Are we going to try and get Britt back, are we, as well? Is James there? Oh, did I not add her? Yeah, I did. Oh, wait a minute, we've got two here. Two Jamies. Confusing. Two Jamies. Jamie. Jamie?
I can hear you.
Yes,
can you hear me?
and I can hear you.
Hello.
Hello again. Oh, you're outside today.
I am.
With your cat.
Just hanging out with my cat.
Yep.
Yep.
So, hello again. Now, what's your question this time?
Okay. I have my laptop so that I don't mess this up. It's an
Don't worry.
important one.
We all mess up.
My ticket number.
Yeah.
Ticket number 194.
Okay, 194.
Thank you for being so open about the abuse that you have faced in the music industry. Not just the injustice on the business side, the money side, but the side that sparked you and so many other female artists to come out during the Me Too movement.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, how could Creative Passport impact this issue? And what advice, aside from investing in Creative Passport, do you have for young musicians currently facing abuse?
Yeah. Okay. Good questions. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, ticket number 194. How I feel the Creative Passport could help musicians suffering from abuse within the music community, from outside the music community, at a place of need, at a point of need. The Creative Passport is a kind of baseline layer. It's the identity structure, the social graph that connects each music maker to one another and relates to the services and the collaborations they've had in the past and their skills and all that kind of stuff. So it's this kind of fundamental layer that is missing. When we have this, we can build so many things from that. So many apps, so many services that are not about creating one thing fits all, like Spotify or YouTube or whatever, but having lots of microservices that can be individually chosen and picked out by the musician to kind of create their own little mini ecosystem, business ecosystem. So say if you wanted a marketing person, or you wanted to find a producer, or you wanted to plan a tour, or you wanted to find a support for your tour, or you wanted to be a support for a tour, or whatever it is, you wanted to find a nanny who also plays the bass, who's also good at selling t-shirts or designing t-shirts. Anyway, all of these things are possible. So in regards to the abuse question, before Me Too, I had a session that we called Horror Stories, and it was for an organisation that I was kind of temporary CEO for, called the Featured Artists Coalition in the UK, of which I'm still a board advisor, a board director, sorry. And Lucy, who was Lucy Caswell, she was then the CEO. No, she was the CEO. Yeah, she was then the CEO. Sorry, I hired her. Well, we hired her. So she came up with this idea during the Horror Stories, where I was explaining when I was 18 how I kind of some really nasty things happened with the producer and stuff, and kind of shared that in the walls of this chapel. It was very emotional, and so many other musicians just started saying, "Yeah, me too. This happened to me." Da, 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 da. And Lucy came up with this idea. She thought, wouldn't it be great if there could be an app where you could have something, it would be called Press Pause, and you would be able to say, like, I can imagine myself in that situation again, just going, do you know what? I just really need the toilet. And I'd just like pretend to go to the toilet. And I would say something into this app, and it'd be like, look, XYZ is happening. What do I do? And mentors, people in your circles, anyone signed up to that app would come back to you with suggestions, or to help you calm, or just to say, just get the hell out of there, or just tell him whatever, just tell him to F off, whatever it has to be, just to give you the confidence to do that. Just a bit of moral support. Yeah. So that was one of the ideas, that you could help by offering each individual music maker might choose to be happy to receive those questions or those kind of alarms from other music makers at certain times. Like, obviously not like when you're just about to sit down and have dinner, but you could like switch it on between 9 and 10 in the morning when you're like just dropped off Scout to school, and you know, if somebody really needed something and you thought you could help, you would answer that question. And it might be anonymous. It might be anonymous from the person coming, it might be anonymous from the person receiving or sending the answer, to be thought out. But basically, by creating a structure where music maker to music maker, we can build apps for the gaps where we don't have support right now. And it is often that musicians are kind of isolated from their peers by way of the industry, or time, lack of time to see their friends, or just nervousness of losing the deal that, you know, they worked so hard to get, or whatever it might be. and just to have a little advice. You take it or leave it, but just to have some at a time of need. So that was Lucy's idea, but I think that many things like that will pop up, many apps specific to music makers with the specific needs that they have, with the ability to, you know, be encrypted, but still to be able to connect to the network that's not broadcast like Twitter or whatever. So yeah, something like that I think could happen. But I don't really want to develop it. I just want to, you know, I want to get back to music making, and I think the Creative Passport has to do this base layer bit really, really well. But on top of that, there is a huge gap in this kind of that kind of help, that kind of service that should hopefully emerge out of that. Maybe you could do it. Maybe you could make it.
Oh, I'm not that talented, but my knows the people who knows the people.
Yeah.
So I think there might be a little bit of a delay. I don't know if you hear it, but
sorry, it is.
I do have some suggestions for the app. I had sent you an email, and then right after I sent it, I received an invitation to join you today.
Okay, cool.
But
so, what are the questions? Did you have 2 more questions?
So yeah, I had suggestions for the app.
Okay.
I noticed that when I was listening to the downloaded, like the demos that the early version of your demos, it was playing so at the beginning of the song, it was playing about a second or 2 of the previous song.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's weird.
So you go in, you finish First Train Home, and then it starts, playing 2-1, and then it starts a second or 2 of First Train Home, and then it starts 2-1.
Really? I will write to Superpass and ask them what the hell's going on. Thank you for that.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And a good one that a suggestion my fiance had was the concept of a lifetime subscription to your content.
Okay.
So you could have a choice. People could continue paying the monthly, or if they could invest in a little bit more upfront, then they could, forego the monthly subscription, pay what you think is fair, like, I don't know, $99, and then just have access to future content. And one example he gave was that he subscribed to a company called Plex for the software that they had. So he paid $99 to have lifetime access, future updates, no monthly subscription. And it helps them get the capital they needed to get off the ground and build a really superb product.
Yeah.
Because people like him believed in what it could offer.
Okay.
And I think that it's the same for Creative Passport, for example.
Oh, for Creative Passport instead of for this app you're talking about.
Or this app. All of the above.
Well,
I'm sure it's complicated, but
no. I mean, it's a good suggestion. The Creative Passport is a non-profit that at the moment we are not going to be taking any fee for. But however, it might not be possible to be sustainable like that. It depends on the relationships that we have with the services who interact with that data, and how the Creative Passport holders want to monetize their data or not. So yeah, and it might be that initially we have to charge to get it going, and then eventually we don't. I've fought for years for it not to be something that musicians pay for, because I feel like we pay for a lot already.
Yeah.
We put a lot of risk up and we get very little back for it. So I'd like it to be a gift and for it to be free. But in order for that to make it,
especially the resource of sorry to interrupt. You were saying earlier the resource of having that access to advice from other musicians in the industry. That's incredibly important to address the Me Too movement.
Yeah. And the other question, about the app, about my app, I'm not sure. It's pretty hard to at the moment, there's quite a few people on it. It's like 350 people or something in here. And some people are paying £2 a month. And some people are paying £20 a year. Some people are paying £100 a year. Some people are paying £250 a year. Not very many of those, but thank you if you're watching. And to be honest, I don't know. I feel like it makes more sense for it to be a subscription right now, because there might be times where I just like don't put anything up, and people might be like, oh, or I'm just going offline for a few months, I'd rather not, or you know, I don't know, I'm not sure about the lifetime thing. It feels like a lot. It feels like a lot to give. I feel like I don't know how I feel about that, because I feel like it's different with a computer program. That's like people are putting lots of collaborative people are putting time and effort into a piece of code that then gets shared. Right. But I feel like I'm putting my heart and soul and my music, and if I put it at a low price of £99 for life, then it makes it even more unsustainable for me as a musician to keep going, especially in light of right now where there's no live income at all coming, and you're basically left with whatever commissions you can hope to get, and whatever music you can make in the hope that you get some money from streaming. But it's tiny. It's like, it's not a living at all. Even for me, it's not a living. If I didn't have Ariana Grande and Taylor Swift and big songs that I'd written with other people, that does help with the living. But for my own personal work, it doesn't equal a living. So this is one way that I have found a balance to be able to do what I love, feel a connection with people, and actually checking to see whether subscribers keep on or not is a thing that helps me fuel my kind of drive to keep going to the studio, because I know that fans want to hear new music or they want to hear old demos. So to keep engaging. But if lots of people just bought lifetime subscription, maybe it would just be like, oh, you know, it's not so much of a constant flow, a constant connection.
Right.
So yeah, for £99 you'd get 5 years. If you paid the £2, no, 2024, you'd get 4 years, wouldn't you, of that?
Yeah, makes perfect sense. Thank you for answering that.
My pleasure. It's nice to think about it. I hadn't thought about it like that.
Yeah.
So thank you. All right, Jamie, it was lovely to chat to you. I'm going to get on to the last 3 remaining participants.
Okay.
And have a lovely day. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, I'm going to bring in Britt, and hopefully she's got her mic. Are you there, Britt? Britt, are you there? Can you hear me? Ah, I can hear. Yes. Oh my God, you're in a car with a dog. Are you?
Huh?
Are you in a car with a dog?
That's my dog.
Ah, that's very cute.
Thank you.
But it's not like a live video. No, it's just a picture of you with a dog in a car. Yes. So hello, Britt. How are you doing?
Great. Good. Now we're connected. I can finally hear you.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what was going on. I'm glad that we connected. Nice to hear your voice. The last time I heard your voice in person was, where was it?
The Greek Theatre.
The Greek Theatre, yes, of course. That's right. Yes. What a lovely evening that was.
Yeah, that's great seeing you.
So you're the meme queen, aren't you? You're the Imogen Heap meme queen.
Yeah, that's me.
Yes.
That's my hobby.
It's very good. I do feel bad that you spend so much time making memes of me. And I would like you to know that I do see them, but I would like you, if it was like, do Imogen Heap meme or go out and enjoy the sunshine, please go out and enjoy the sunshine.
Yeah, I do. When I can, I walk my dog, but I haven't been able to. I just had knee surgery. That's why you're actually chatting with me in my bed.
Oh, wow. You had knee surgery?
I can't see myself. I don't know if you can see my poster behind me.
I can't see you. I can just see this picture. I can't see your video.
Can't see me?
I can just see the picture of you and your dog.
Oh.
Yeah. But don't worry. I can hear you. That's fine. Nobody else can see you either. Go on, Britt. Ask me the question.
I don't know.
Don't worry about it. We can always see each other another time.
I think someone already asked my question. Okay, my first thing I wanted to ask you, I'm cheating a little bit, is as an Italian, I have to ask you, what's your favorite pizza?
My favorite pizza? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's a nice, easy one. I'll make up a ticket number because you never asked me that one. Ticket number.
180.
What? 180.
Yeah.
Oh, ticket number 180. Oh, there you are. Hello. Ticket number 180. My favourite pizza involves an egg and some watercress and some parmesan, lots of olive oil, pepper. That's about it. I love egg on a pizza. I think not enough people have egg on pizza. It's just so good. Soft.
Breakfast food is my favorite.
What's that?
Breakfast food is my favorite.
Yes, I love breakfast food too. I eat so many eggs. I'm sorry, chickens. I am guilty. So what's your other question?
My question, I think I asked with my ticket 180, was I wanted to know about like the Shurayo music video and kind of the concept behind that, and like anything you wanted to say about that.
Okay. So the Shurayo music video was complete in its idea when it arrived to me. It was devised by Guy Sigsworth and the director, who is a woman, and I can't remember her name, but I'll find out when I add this to AImogen. The idea was basically to create a scene with all kind of analog theatre, so every like physical moving around the stage, with the waves and everything in camera basically. So no After Effects, very little editing, just kind of everything in camera, kind of old school theatre style. And so as a result, I had to pretend to be in a storm, and holding my hat on in the wind. I think there was a big fan that they had. So I did a bit of acting to try and, I like your t-shirt, Imogen. Heap fans do it better. Yes, very nice. I should get one of those for running in. Yeah, so the concept was really from this lady who directed it. I can't remember the name of, but I'm sure it's on the website, on YouTube somewhere, and based around the lyrics, the lyrics that Guy and the lady, I can't remember her name either, who wrote the song Shurayo with Guy. Oh, hello, doggy. So,
that's my little dog. This is Rebel.
What's this called?
Rebel.
Rebel. That rebel dog, you.
He's very naughty.
Is he? I wish I could have a dog. I keep saying that, so maybe I should just get a dog. I love dogs. I love cats too. Okay, so that was my answer. I don't have a better answer, because I didn't come up with a video idea, but Guy would know all about it.
Yeah, I liked the video a lot, so I just wanted to know.
I'm glad you like it. I wasn't 100%, I have to say. I don't know. I think I didn't like the way I looked in it. I didn't like my face. I was feeling a bit overweight, and I just, yeah. The lighting, I didn't. Oh, hello. Who's that?
Also, the memes, I customized a Funko Pop. This is like from your Good Night and Go video.
Oh, nice. Okay, wait. Look, I'll show people. There. Can you see that? Oh, sorry. I break my chair. Right. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for showing me that, and thank you for chatting about the boat. It was lovely to see you. Lovely day. Hope you get to go for a walk soon and get out of bed. All right.
Thank you.
Bye for now, Britt. See you.
Bye.
Okay, I'm going to go to Josh Candlaft. God, I've been sitting in here a long time, I have to say. I've got two more after Josh. I think my family is eating without me. We've got some family staying here. We're all actually quarantining ourselves for this week. And then they're going to go off and quarantine further. Right, here we go. Josh Candleft. Where's Josh? Joshy? Josh. I think I can hear you breathing. Hello.
Hi there.
Hi, Josh. How's it going?
It's going well.
Good. Where are you?
Right now, I'm on holiday with my boyfriend. We're in New Hampshire.
Holiday? Is that a thing? Are people doing holidays now?
Well,
that's so wonderful.
Vacation, if you will. It's for Independence Day. We thought we'd hop over the state border for a weekend.
Okay. And what do you find when you hop over the state border? What's there?
We're in Portsmouth. It's a coast town, so there's you go on little cruises. There's all little shops and restaurants. It's just a nice. We like to go and get away and from the city because we're from the Boston area.
Oh, and who are you with? Sorry.
My boyfriend.
Yeah. Is he really mad at me now? Because he's like, look, you've been on your computer for 2.5 hours, and we're meant to be on holiday. I'm sorry to your boyfriend.
He's not walking about.
Okay.
Right now.
He's just like steam's coming out of his ears. He's just so angry with me. He's like breaking all the records. Well, lovely to chat to you. Sorry to keep you waiting for so long. We should get back to your holiday as quickly as possible. Now, what is your question?
So, I asked it originally, and then I was logged in, and I got booted out, so I asked it again.
Yes.
Technically, it's 164 and also 199.
Okay. 164, 199, 164, 199. Yes.
And my question is, I know that your project that you did with Guy Frou, you did, or Tony, I'm not sure, re-released it on vinyl, but I wasn't sure if there's any plans in the future to do a remaster release, since I know it's going to be turning 20 in a couple of years. Like, I know there are some songs on other releases, like the Japanese re-release of iMegaphone. You had Airplane, like some of the B-sides.
Yeah. Okay, we're there. So, ticket number 164 or 199, I'm not sure. Are we going to remaster or re-release the Frou Frou Details album with a new master, with potentially new songs? I don't know. I wouldn't be against the idea. However, we don't own the licenses for that album, and we don't see a penny from it, as far as I know. So there would be little financial incentive to be doing such a thing. It would only really benefit the label. So that would de-incentivize us to do that. I don't think the rights ever revert back to us with that album. I'm pretty sure they don't. Shame, really. But if they did, then we would definitely do that, because that would make absolute sense.
Would you consider doing, because I know some artists, and I'm not sure the legality, because I know now know that you guys don't own the rights to the songs, but would you
re-record?
Maybe do some artists use like a different platform like Pledge Music, kind of how you did your for your tour. You had this nice pay us this much, and we might be able to offer you like you did the acoustic shows, which were nice.
Yeah.
Something of that.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a Frou Frou evening. Musical evening. Yeah. Well, we kind of did a little bit of that on the last tour. I think it's just is it 199 or 164 or 199? I'm not. Would we ever do like an evening as Frou Frou? I love Guy, and I love playing live with him. He's a genius, and he just puts so much effort into everything he does, musical, and yeah, it's just every time I work with him I learn so much. So I would like to do that. However, I would also like to make new music. I think it would be something that might happen a bit later in life. Hopefully we're both still alive, because right now I feel a huge drive to write and create new music. I don't want to go back anymore. I've just done that on the tour, and I want to make new music. So I think I want to do that first. And I would love to make something for film or TV soon, and I would love to develop a virtual recording streaming space in the barn, and I would love to turn this into a financial commercial recording studio, residential studio, which it is, but it's not like actually really known. So if anybody out there would like to rent the round house, you can, but not till September. So I've got a lot of things to chew off first before I think about doing something like that. And it feels like something I would do when I was a bit like, what should I do now? And I haven't reached that point yet. But it would be nice. Yeah, I think it would be nice to have a frou-frou, just a frou-frou evening. And maybe by then, maybe we'll have released Deal With It and a few other things that we had lying around, like A New Kind of Love, which somehow people have found online, and there are already uploads of that demo. But there you go. Can't keep a good thing down, as they say.
Exactly.
So there, kind of ambiguous. Sorry, but all I can think of right now is just like I want to finish that song, the fire dance thing, which I don't know if that's going to be the final lyric, but I just want to finish a song and get it out there. Yeah, and even though it's like, well, you could be doing that right now instead of doing 3 hours of chatting to all of us. I could, but at the same time, I kind of need to develop this relationship as well, because I need to also think about funding. Because if I just hold myself away in the studio and I can't share that experience, then it also incentivizes me less, because I like having that collaboration, I like having that relationship with the fans in the studio with me. And also, I can't really just do it in 3 hours. I need to like all my family, not all of them, but some of my family are upstairs, and I find it hard to work, and I have to get used to it. I find it hard to make music when there's others in the house. I just need to disappear into a cocoon and get into my mad world, and I find it hard to do with my daughter awake nearby. Yeah, but maybe I'll just have to learn how to do that. We'll see. Watch this space. We'll see what happens.
I remember back in the iBabble days, there was a strong community, and even seeing the last tour and being a VIP, which was wonderful. Everyone's just very welcoming, very friendly.
Yeah.
You've built a very nice fan base, definitely.
Yeah, well, you've built it. I haven't built it. You guys have built it all together. You're the ones who all know each other really well and have hangouts, and they're just such a nice group. And I just feel like the luckiest musician to have a really gorgeous fan base who are accepting and, smart and creative, and just, I just feel so lucky. I've always felt that, in every sharing, in every, sharing, whether it's music or thought, just feel welcome, I feel comfortable. But the thing I haven't felt easy to deal with is when everything got a bit big. Not in terms of my fan base, I'm just talking about in terms of the one to many, far too many, the noise, adding to the noise. And even though I'm kind of doing that now with Twitter and, but I'm interacting directly with a few of you. And there's something about that. It's like, it kind of, I don't know. I know that we are now live streaming to lots of people, but perhaps there's 2 or 3 right now who are just like, I want to be in that space where Imogen is sharing her music. Because I don't want to put those demos up on YouTube. I don't want to put them up on anywhere other than this community who I trust to, just keep it close. And as a musician, there's something really freeing about being able to feel comfortable in that. I don't have a manager or a producer or anyone that I work with, and I don't really have. Alexi works day in, day out with me and has done for many years, and has been a fan and was on the iBabble board many years ago. So he is that continuous kind of link, I suppose, to that side of me that knows my stuff inside. But other than that, who works with me. But other than that, that's all I have really. So yeah, this communication with you guys now in the app, before Babbleboard, and we never really found anything kind of close, because then it was MySpace, and then it was YouTube, and then it was loads of other things, and it's just all got a bit much, a bit too many. So yeah, there we go. Here we go. We've got lots to do here. We've got lots of things that want to develop, easier ways to chat and interact, and I like the idea of having an audio chat room where I can kind of have listening parties and like walk into the studio and like turn it on, and you get a notification like Imogen's in her studio, and you just hear me talking. I don't even have to do my makeup or whatever. Not that I have to do my makeup with you guys, but just it's very like as if you're in my studio and we're just listening, and we don't have to worry about bandwidth because it's just people talking. We don't have to worry about video and all that stuff. So I'm looking to think about it. Could be something in Discord, or it could be something like there's something called Water Cooler. There's another thing that's just starting out called was it the Boardroom or something like that? I can't remember. Anyway, I'm rambling. Anyway, thank you for being here and from all those years ago. 20 years ago, you must have been around. Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for being here too. And yeah, I will have a think about Free in the future.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Have a lovely rest of your holiday. Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm bringing in Benjamin Anders, and then Benjamin and Becca, and then I am out of the chair. Can have some dinner.
Oh my God.
Benjamin, hello.
Can you hear me?
I can. I'm over
Okay,
here.
hi. Oh God. Okay, so my question was 113,
Yes.
but it was you kind of already answered it yesterday by posting the demos.
Oh yeah.
It was all about seeing like the progress of how your songs come together.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna like pivot my question a little,
Okay.
just because I'm an artist and I know I struggle to like let go of things before like designs, because I'm like I can always make them better. When do you know a song is ready, like finished?
Yeah.
Because I know like with Idol, it went through, which is one of my favorite songs. Went through so many versions, and then there's like versions with Ashwin. I can't remember his last name. With like vocals that are missing.
Yeah.
But yes, it went through so many versions, and I was just wondering, what is your process like with trying to decide when a song is finished?
Yeah. Thanks. Okay, so question 113, was it? Yeah. No, this is a new one. Okay.
Yeah.
How I sometimes know a song is finished is when I play it at least 3 times in a row, and I'm just playing it, and I'm playing it, and I'm playing it, and then I'm like, I don't want to change anything. And it usually comes as quite a surprise. And then I go to do the final actual bounce, and then I do about 50 versions. I'm like, oh no, that S is a little bit loud. And oh no, the string's a little bit too kind of loud and pointy on the right ear, you know. Then I basically go through and I listen, and I'm like, no, that's good. I'm going to bounce it down. And then I bounce it down about 50 times. Because I'd have to get the absolutely perfect then. But I'm not changing ideas anymore. I suppose, like with Daylight Robbery, that was another really problematic one. I couldn't decide on a direction. And sometimes that's half the problem, is maybe you can't finish a song if you haven't written a good enough song. You know, that's if you're basically just trying to make something out of something that's not really a strong enough song. That can also take time because you're trying to solve the problems in the production. And so perhaps with Tidal, I don't know. I mean, I think the lyrics are really lovely. The verse, the chorus, the verse, the chorus. But the do it for love. Oh no, that's the outro. Yeah, there's something about this. But that's not true. I don't know. Is the answer. Guy used to say, because there was a quote, an artist's work is never done, it's merely abandoned. And certainly sometimes I just haven't had the time to go any further. So I work within my means, which is the time constraints or the place and time or whatever. It's usually time, which is why I always self-impose deadlines on my work. Otherwise, I never finish anything. And that's most of the reason why I take on commissions, because I'm like, great, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. And I'm like, no, that's I'm definitely going to finish something because I've said that I'm going to I promised it to someone, which is another reason why, you know, I'm getting to grips more with the community here again, because like I have said, I'm going to finish that song, the Fire Dance one. And I know that you're waiting and I know that you want to hear it. So rather than it just be like me in my studio for years on end, kind of going, oh, I don't really need to finish. Oh, I'll do this instead. I'll do that. I'll do this. I'll do that. But now I've like promised it to you, and I haven't given you a date, but it'll probably be the end of September, because I want to tie it in with something else that does have a deadline. Anyway, it's never simple, is it? But usually it comes to that point where you're like, yeah, pretty done. I'm done. And then there's the fine-tuned mixing that goes on and on and on forever. You have like final mix 7, final mix 8, final mix 9, final mix 9B, final mix 10, minus 3 dB, final mix 11. Anyway. So there's one.
Just to go off of that point, do you ever perform a song, like you obviously finished an album, you tour it, and then you perform them live? Do you ever look back on a song and after performing it and wish that you discovered something about it when you were performing it that you wish that you put into or could have put onto the studio album version?
Yeah.
Have you ever felt that way?
Yeah. Sometimes I feel when I'm doing a live show, it would be really nice if this was documented on a record in some form. But generally, I just accept that the album versions are the album versions and the live is just live. And I should never try to recreate a live song, like a live recording as an official record. It just doesn't really suit the way that I want my music to be heard as an official record that's not a live album, I mean. And the other way around, I've tried many times. I mean, Guy is very, very good at it. Guy is very good at picking all the bits from the record and finding ways to play them live, or, you know, pulling out samples and be as true to the live, the recording as he can. I have a different take on it. I feel like I could do that, but it would be like incredibly hard and would take so much time. And essentially, people have the record if they want to listen to the record.
Yeah.
And if they come to a live show and they hear something that's almost exactly like the record, but it's never going to be as good because you've had like weeks and months to get all the nitty gritty perfect, then I feel like the experience is a bit of a deflated one. It's like, oh, it's just not quite as good as the live, the recorded version. But if you come and you hear a slight different take on it or a different angle or a new bit, then it's a different experience and it's not in comparison to. So they often, in the beginning, I tried really hard, especially with this song, Just For Now. I remember I was at this place called the Barfly. No, it wasn't called the Barfly. It was called the Bedford, in a place called Balham. And I was trying to play some of my new album, Speak For Yourself. And I had a go at trying to do Just For Now exactly with all the samples and everything. I had like a ton of different remote controllers to do that with. And I just kept forgetting which one of the 10 million things I had to do was next. And in the end, I was like, I'm sorry, guys, I can't do this. I'm just going on the piano. And everyone really liked it. And even though it's not the record version. And later I ended up doing just the vocal only version. And that came from a bunch of accidents happening that led to me accidentally performing just with my voice, not realizing that my piano wasn't coming out of the speakers. So yeah, I think it's important for me anyway to have these very different live versions. But I don't like the live recordings because they never get to the point of, I don't ever feel like they're good enough. Yeah, I think because I don't sing very well live. If I've done like 20 shows, then I sing well. But there's so many things to get in the muscle memory before I can actually perform a song without really thinking about it, to the point where I can just really focus on the lyrics and the melody and getting that delivery really well. I'm often trying to do a million other things. But then kind of, 2/3 of the way through a tour is usually great. But the first third, I always feel a bit sorry for the audience because I'm just trying to get that muscle memory in, and it's hard to get enough rehearsal space in imagining all the little things that could go wrong. So yeah, some people have not been that impressed by the early shows, but other times people love it. They love the fact that it's always, I'm messing up, I'm forgetting lyrics, I'm doing this and that, and we had to take a tangent because something didn't work or whatever. So, you know, everyone's different, aren't they? Some people like it, some people want to hear something closer to the record. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
It was great. And thank you again for posting the demos.
Yeah, pleasure.
I'm excited to hear Runtime because
yes.
that was me.
Oh, that's you. Yes,
yeah, that's me.
I've been practicing it today. Cool. Yeah, it's just on the piano. You know that, right? It's just like piano voice.
Oh yeah.
So thank you.
I was Glittering Cloud too.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Really appreciate it.
I love Glittering Cloud. It's perfect.
Oh,
so
thank you. Thanks for that. Thanks so much. No, thank you for all your cash. Really appreciate it. It's we're really making it do great things. Thank you for your help. And I've been practicing Runtime. Yeah, I'm excited. It'll be the first time I've ever performed it, I think. Yeah. So there we go. Okay.
Have a great day.
Thanks for everything. Bye for now. Yeah. Right. What next? We have one more, I believe. It is Becca, our last guest, Becca B. Wow, I need to move. My body needs to move. It's very comfortable in here now, I have to say. Considering I've been sitting in here since 4:15. That's 3 hours now. Need to go for a nice long jog, except I can't because I have a sprained ankle. Right, Becca, are you there? Can you hear me? Has Becca got her microphone on? Becca B. Tell you what, while she's figuring that out, I'll play you something else. I'll tell you what, I'll play you the... Oh no, I've already played you that. Let me see what I've got in my media files. So I haven't put everything up yet because I want to put some stuff up with descriptions about why they're there and what I wrote. I'm going to try and find you a really embarrassing one. Nobody's ever heard this. Here we go. Okay, this is embarrassing. So this is a song called Itchy. I wrote this at the same time as I wrote Come Here Boy, so I was like 16. It's basically about sex. And I think it's a terrible idea to call a song about sex itchy. But at the time, it seemed like a good idea. Here we go. This is produced by Nick Kershaw. Oh, there we go. Hello.
Hi there.
Hello. Would you mind awfully if I just played a tiny bit of this song? Because I feel like I've kept them hanging otherwise.
Thank you. That's excellent.
Okay, I'm gonna play a little bit of this song.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I'm just gonna play some of this song. Becca, one sec. Right, you see how low my voice is? Mummy, he's making my head feel funny. Only a 16-year-old would write that. I'm itchy for a ride. I'm itchy for a ride. I'm itchy for a ride, for a ride with you tonight. Okay, that's enough. There we go. There's Itchy. I thought that was great when I was 16. I think it is less great now, but I think it's amusing, and I think it is worth getting up there on the app at some point. But I don't want to do it until maybe I could get Nick Kershaw to talk about it with me, because he was the one who produced it. Anyway, it didn't end up on a record for good reason. So, Becca, you are our last person in the chair. Welcome, and thank you for waiting so long.
I was originally not going to be here, but I'm feeling so much better. My cousin brought me coffee because she loves me, so...
Oh, yeah. You're not feeling well, did you say?
So, what?
Did you say you're not feeling very well?
I wasn't earlier, but I'm feeling so much better now.
Oh, and you were the one who wanted to meet maybe next week, and I said that would be fine, but you found your way here.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better.
Okay, so I suppose I should ask the questions. The first one is 165.
Yes.
So you have it.
Yeah.
I was really excited when you teamed up with one of my favorite artists for October for the song Congratulations many years ago. To this day, the song still gives me chills and draws out intense emotions. If the opportunity presented itself, would you ever do another collaboration with them?
Okay, I'm going to answer this. So answer to 165. Would I collaborate with Blue October again? So I honestly, it's not because I don't like the band, but I tend not to collaborate with more times than one with a person. Only because, I mean, unless I was doing an album with somebody, I would. But there's just so few hours in the day. And I feel like I experienced a really positive collaboration with the guys. And I liked doing the song. I think it was all remote at the time. And I appreciate that a lot of Blue October fans have come over and joined the Heap gang. And that there's a lot of crossover there. And that's really, really great. I just don't know if I would do it again, not because I don't like their work, but just because there's so many other things to do. Kind of the same as the last question about the frou-frou, you know, would we do remaster or would we go and do a frou-frou evening? There's just so many things, aren't there, to do in life. So I think in all honesty, the answer is probably no, but never say never. And I hope to live a very long time and hope to have lots of time to do things in the future. So that's my answer to that one.
That's a great answer. I dig it. And then kind of going along with that same one, 169, what other artists or bands would you like to collaborate with that you have not yet?
Yeah. Okay. I just need to remember the name of a director. Yeah, I thought it was. I'm just trying to remember the name of this director. Yes. Okay. So, quite a while ago, okay, wait a minute. What number is this? 169. In answer to 169.
169. Okay.
I would like to collaborate with so many people. The way I choose my collaborations are usually by people asking me, and then I take on the challenge rather than me reaching out to people. I don't think I've ever reached out to somebody myself. I think more out of indecision or cowardice, or not believing in myself or having too much to do. But there's lots of people's music that I love, and I recently, for example, have been more in touch with the music of Yona Lee of I Am I Who Am I fame and solo fame. And I love her, and she has reached out in an Instagram post, which I haven't replied to because my phone is broken and I can't make a post back. I have now got a new phone. Look, here it is. I just have to put the SIM in it. I just got it today. There's my old one. There's my new one. So I would love to work with her. I love her voice. I love her very, very much.
I would love to hear that.
I would love to do that.
She's amazing as well. You guys would be magic, just saying.
I think we would too. So who knows when, but hopefully one day. There's so many people. I love this guy called Jackson and his computer band, but I feel a bit terrified of even going anywhere near him. But I just love loads of his albums. There's like complete opposite type, just very hard dance music, really gritty and distorted often, and just like a bit dirty. But then I also, the great of Ryuichi Sakamoto, that would be amazing. I don't know what we do, but I just so appreciate his variety and eclectic, just huge breadth of musicality of all things he does, right up, kind of avant-garde, kind of atonal dance theatre music to, what was that film called? The Eternal Sun? No, I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, I just looked up this guy, Wong Kar-wai. He's a director. He did In the Mood for Love, the film. And I remember seeing quite a few of his films thinking, oh, I'd love to do something for him. So it's also film directors like films in general. So maybe my ideal scenario would be to work with another artist for a film, because that would kill two birds with one stone. And it's also, in this day and age, it's really great to have something else to pin a track onto. Otherwise, it's just another song in a huge vat, endless vat of noise. So having context to discover that song is also helpful. Yeah, so there we go. Yona Lee, Wonka Y, Raichi Sakamoto, and Jackson is Computer Band. John Hopkins, of course. I love John Hopkins.
Any song you've ever done has ever been just a song for me. Every single song you've ever done is like a complete experience.
Oh,
because
thank you.
They all make me feel something. So thank you for that.
I'm very happy. Thank you. There's not many of you out there who feel that about every song. I think you're very resilient fans, because I often kind of throw complete wildcards to you. I don't make it easy to be an Imogen Heap fan. I don't feel like. It's not like, oh, here's a song, and it's the kind of songs that I'll do, and I'll be kind of like it for the rest of my life. It's like, oh no, Imogen's going to do this really annoying thing, and I don't like that. I don't like the happy song. How dare she write a song for children? It's so not right. Or, you know, how can she go and do a weird song that sounds like a kind of teen horror movie with aha? Or how can she do a weird creepy spoken word thing? I just love doing all of those different things.
I think it's all great. You have to be allowed to evolve and like create things like that make you feel something.
Yeah.
Because if you're not doing that, it's hard to make us feel something. And you always put it out of part, in my opinion. So
thank you. And also, I think it's important to be able to go back too, like not just to progress, but sometimes to regress. I think I do that in my music too. Sometimes I kind of go back to like my teenage years, or I go back to a certain period in my life because I've left something behind, or I haven't quite dealt with something. So I feel sometimes like I'm kind of jumping around, like I never kind of keep progressing into kind of euphoric ambient, I don't know, where you eventually get up to Nirvana, whatever that musical thing is. The ability to just kind of make one note, a single note, and that is your perfect piece. I don't know, nothing. Who knows where I'll end up writing. I feel like I need to explore more harmonically. I feel like, especially after playing Billy Bainbridge's song last week, which I'm going to perform again on Tuesday. It's just so... This song, this guy, Bilsy Bainbridge, he's a fan, and he asked me to sing this song of his that he wrote called Shadows Dance. And it took me the longest time to learn it, and I still haven't fully learnt it. But I've been practicing it every day. But the kind of like water moving around between all these different chords, and sometimes very unexpected, but works because of the melody. And I just feel like I had a little trial of that with Little Bird, but I need to do more of it. But I kind of struggle because when I think about how I'm going to do something live, which I try not to think about too much, but I like the feeling of repetition, but I also like the feeling of change. And sometimes I feel like I have to decide whether something's going to be very repetitive because it's that type of electronic, that kind of feel, like with the new song, or whether it's something very intertwining, like You Know Where to Find Me, or Wait It Out, or Little Bird, or I feel like I need to find something a bit more what's the word, malleable in between. I don't know, maybe it's just like longer chord progressions over a longer period of time, but it's still a loop. Anyway, sorry, went off on a tangent, but that's why
that sounded amazing. So
that's why I like the chair conversations.
I think you did great, but you know, you're an artist, and I'm sure you're probably the hardest on yourself. So,
oh, thanks, Becca. Right, well, you are the final one in our Zoom chat, and I very much appreciate. And I'm sorry to keep you waiting for all this time. Thank you for the question.
No, you did.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
And hopefully I'll have an update on the song soon. That's my plan. I've got to write the lyrics now. Right. Goodbye for now. I'm going to ask you to remove you from the chat. And then, oh no, I can do it myself now. No, I can't. Bye. Okay, I think, right. So, another marathon session in the listening channel. Thank you to all the guys who tuned in and waited so long to chat. And thank you for the questions. Sorry if I didn't get to answer your question today, but I'll be doing one every week. Sometimes I'll make them public, sometimes I'll make them private. And sometimes, hopefully, if I've got something to share, I feel like doing one of these audio only listening sessions of what's going on in the studio, because I've actually got loads of ideas. Let's see if I've got any others on my laptop. I'm just going to have a quick look in studio shared. See, I've got Imogen's song ideas, 2019 to 2020. So I don't know what this is. I'm just going to play it. Probably awful. It's probably a terrible idea. Here we go. Oh no, I'm definitely not playing that. That's a terrible idea to play that one. Wait, what's this one? Life Watch. That sounds like a terrible idea for a song. So you don't want things like that, do you? Yeah, but there's something in that, you see. Nobody's going to hurt you, not on my life watch. Not on my life watch. Nobody's going to hurt you, not on my life watch. Something about that, like not on my, like a lifeguard, but or life watch, because it's talking about Scout, obviously. Or anyone who I dearly love, who I will look after. Anyway, so that's one idea. Maybe I'll talk about that. Maybe I won't. What's another one here? What's this? 750 volts of DC. Let's see what this one sounds like. Okay. 750 volts of DC. Almost something just really rumbled. I'm amazed if you're still watching this. 750 volts of DC. Jumping off a cliff to see. This is all about near-death experiences. Counting all my lucky stars, looking at I do really like that. Like nearly died. I'm counting all my lucky stars, looking at you. That was in Jamaica. Counting all my lucky stars, looking at you. Okay, here we go. What's this? Oh, bassline. Okay, I haven't quite figured out the chorus. Okay, so this is some kind of chorus. See, I had no idea in life that it could get this good. If I had any idea it could get this good, I would never have risked my life. 750 volts DC. Anyway, it's about being electrocuted at Selhurst Station when I was 14. Right, not electrocuted because I was be dead. Electrified. I now know that. Sorry. Right, everyone. A pleasure as always. Yeah, can't wait to get more into music and share some of these ideas with you. And somehow over the summer holidays, I'm going to invite friends and I'm going to work in the day. I'm going to try and do like 2 or 3 hours a day in the studio. See if I can somehow do a song like that. Seems impossible, but we shall see. I've never done it before. Let's try. Okay, goodbye everyone. Thank you and see you in the app. Or another one of these live streams. Okay, ciao. Gonna go have dinner.